board members has a good heart and wants to do right for kids. They may not believe it when I say that, but I really do. And anything I can do to help bring them together to make a difference for kids is what I'm going to do.
Representative Clemens?
Again, I think it's very important for the mayor's office to have a strong partnership with the director of schools and each member of the school board. The school board is popularly elected, as is the mayor. They should be working in tandem, not pointing fingers, not calling names like it's been done in the last year, but working together to execute and achieve a shared vision, which is improved quality in our public schools. By working together, we can achieve that goal and we can carry out that vision. Now, one of the things I would like to do as mayor is appoint liaisons to each of the school board committees from the public and private sector, whether it's somebody who balances budgets for Fortune 500 companies to help on the budget committee, not to overstep the charter, but just to be there for help and guidance if that's necessary, or an early childhood literacy professor from Peabody, just to be there and guide and provide access and information.
Councilman Cooper?
Well, as mayor, I want to work together all year long with the school board. So they're not surprises. It's a partnership. It's working together. These school board members represent 9,500 children each. That's twice the number of parents. Those parents deserve to have a say in who is representing them in the system. Now, that being said, there are lots of challenges. There's lots of opportunity. The role of the mayor is going to be to help recruit the best people for the system. It's also to convene and to get focus and to coordinate and to commission all these separate parties that want to help our schools. Nonprofits, they're out there, they want to help, but they need to be convened and directed and coordinated. Community Achieves, for example, is something rolling out that's really very successful, but it's only in 22 schools. We need to take that out to more schools. And the trick is attitude of partnership.
Thank you. Dr. Swain?
Well, Nashville cannot be a great city until it has great public schools, and so that has to be addressed. And because the school board has the kind of authority that it does, it has to be held accountable. It has to be transparent. And so I can see that the mayor needs to at least use the bully pulpit to expose things. When there's an audit that shows waste and there's a pattern, that is not facilitating good schools and teachers, and I hear that there's no grievance system for bus drivers and the lower level staff. I mean, that should be unacceptable. The school board should have a grievance system in place. And so there's a role for the mayor to step in, whether it's me or one of these fine gentlemen, but someone needs to hold the school board accountable because we're all affected by a poor job if they do a poor job. And I'm sure no one in this room does a poor job.
Thank you, Dr. Swain.
Our final question of the night comes from Dantes White, a rising sophomore at Whites Creek.
Hello, my name is Dantes White, and my question for you is, what do you think is going well in our schools, and how would you help highlight and scale excellence as mayor?
We'll start with Representative Clemens and come back to Mayor Briley. Representative Clemens?
Well, thank you, Dantes. That's a great question. There is a lot going well in the schools across Davidson County. Despite what you hear, despite what you read in all the newspapers, there is something amazing happening in every school across this city. As a public school parent and as a public servant, I have visited many schools, sat down with teachers and listened and seen all the amazing things happening in our schools. So we just have to ask ourselves, how great could Metro Nashville Public Schools be if we fully funded them and gave teachers the resources they need to do their jobs? And if we really worked both inside the classroom and outside the classroom to provide every single child across this entire district an equal opportunity to succeed. We need more budgetary transparency in the process, and working together with the school board and Metro government, we can move our schools forward.
Councilman?
Thank you, Dante. Thank you. Wow, a lot of incredible good stuff is going on. And also education is a space where criticism is not really ever appropriate and rarely productive. Now, there are challenges in this urban school system and in every other urban school system. And there are challenges of language, of culture, of resources. But with the right attitude, there are lots of things that are going right in almost every school. And there are a lot of things, of course, that we wish were better. But to come to this with the attitude of partnership and improvement and encouragement to create the environment in the county where every teacher is excited to go to work every day.
Thank you.
I would say that there are great things that are going on in the schools, and a lot of it have to do with the staff, with the teachers, again, the bus drivers, the cafeteria workers, the people that really love children and young people. That's why they're doing it. And so those individuals need to be supported. And they need to be supported by a city that, instead of giving corporate welfare to wealthy businesses to lure them here, and the $14 million that was given to a water park that you can't use unless you buy a hotel room, that's totally unacceptable. All of that money could have been used to better support Metro employees, our police, our firefighters, our teachers, and the ones that are making a difference in our lives. And so there's a lot that can be done, and there are a lot of people that are giving of themselves out of their hearts. They're not being rewarded the way they should be rewarded for what they do.
Thank you, Dr. Swain. Mayor?
Well, I've spent a fair amount of time in schools in the last year, and too often I leave a school believing that the success there is not because of the adults, but despite them, and that the kids in our district are strong and resilient and making great success. And all you have to do is go to the Overton graduation and see that, and see the salutatorian and valedictorian either going to an Ivy League or turning down an Ivy League. And so there are great things happening, and it really is about how we expand that. I went to the STEM prep graduation there, their first class, and it was good to see all of those families, most of whom came from another country to start here, seeing them succeed. That is great. It was good to be at Napier, where the principal there has come to the community as a second career, really, and transformed that school by getting the community more engaged.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We got to be out there. We got to be pushing ourselves, but we got to let the kids move us forward.
So we have enough time for some closing statements, but first, if we could give a round of applause to all our candidates. They're working hard. And a special recognition to our school board members who are here. I see Ms. Spearing. I saw Ms. Bugs. If you are an elected official, Ms. Bush, and I also saw Councilman Hurt and Jenny Poopa Walker. And would you mind standing up if you are an elected official, please? And Ms. Frog. Amy Frog is over here, and Howard Gentry, the criminal clerk.
Brenda Wynn.
Brenda Wynn, the Metro Clerk. So thank you very much again for your service. And thank you, Mayor, for helping me in this part. So you're much more experienced than I am. So at this time, each of you will have 2 minutes to give your closing statement, and we'll continue in the order that we were doing. So Councilman Cooper will start, and we'll end with Representative Clemens.
Well, thank you, David, and I want to thank you all for being here. I have no idea what happened in the Vanderbilt baseball game. This is the important subject for the county. And I'll tell you, I'm running for mayor because I'll do the math and I'll tell you the truth, and I'm sort of a management guy, and that's why I'm the right mayor for Nashville right now, because these are all moral issues but also management issues. Our budget is a moral document, and finding more money and more revenue from the sources that are not using a regressive tax is important. And we can do it. And we have gotten into a whole lot of deals and contracts and things that really just illustrate that efficiency and management is needed. Now, we've spent the last hour demonstrating to what good use we can put this extra money. But we have to find it, and we have to get back for all our future appropriations to be measured by what good it can do for our children. That's the new Nashville, the Nashville that we need to evolve to. We no longer have to pay people, should no longer have to pay people to come here, though they will want it, and they will argue pretty well for it. But it's up to us to constantly say, we can put our children first. And as mayor, really, my idea is to have pictures of principals and teachers and put them up on the wall, and that everybody that comes into the mayor's office that wants something from the mayor's office, you look at those faces and you say, do you need it more than these folks do? I'm not sure. You're going to have to really sell me on that idea. And it's with that creative tension in government, we will have improvement and create the right priorities for our city.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Swain.
I'm the only person here that is not an elected official, and I was drafted to run for office. People came to me because they felt that elected officials were failing the community. And as mayor, I would work to make sure that every person in Davidson County knows that they have a stake in good public schools, whether or not their children go to private schools, they don't have any children. We all need an educated workforce. I would work with those private companies that are coming here to help them take responsibility, because if they come here, it shouldn't be them just bringing their workforce from some other place. They should be working to make sure that the students here are qualified to take the jobs when they get out. And I think that we need more emphasis on vocational education, just more opportunities all around. Everyone is not going to go to college. Everyone's not supposed to go to college, but everyone can make a contribution and have a meaningful career that will lead to them being able to attain the American dream. And so what I would like to do is be hands-on when it comes to education. And I think if we get education right, we will have fewer kids disrupting the classroom. We'll have less crime, because some of the crime comes from young people that just lose hope, and they have internalized that narrative. They hear it over and over again, especially if you're a person of color, that America's a racist country, it's stacked against you, it doesn't matter what you do. Well, that's a lie. America is a country of tremendous opportunity, and I want to work with all of you all to see that every student can have the same opportunities that I've had to have the American dream. Thank you. I want your support. I want you to do something that for some of you all it may seem unthinkable, but partner with me and we can change this city, because I'm not going to recycle the same ideas as these other people that have failed. We're going to do something new.
Mr. Mayor?
Well, thanks everybody again for coming out tonight. I really appreciate your attention. The last 14 months or so of my life have been the greatest honor and privilege I've ever had, to be the leader of my hometown, to go to work every single day and try and make lives better in this city. I'm sure we haven't all agreed about every decision I've made, but I want to tell you tonight that every single decision I have made, I have tried to make in the best interest of folks in our town who were not getting a fair shake. We've become prosperous, we've grown, our investments have paid off. It's time for us to change the way we're doing some things. And that is especially true when it comes to public education. Because in Nashville right now, a 27% literacy rate in third grade is not acceptable. It's not acceptable that we have 21 priority schools. It's not acceptable that we have 10,500 vacant seats in 6 of our clusters. We know there are very specific things we can do to see improvement in achievement with our students. We got to do them. Part of that has to be looking at culture, because the culture in some of our schools is just the most serious impediment to success. We have got to do things when it comes to compensation for our teachers, because if you live in our town and want to teach in our town, you ought to be able to stay here. And I'm committed to doing that in a rational, thoughtful, dispassionate way, not precipitously at the last minute at the Metro Council. I'm here tonight to ask you for your vote. I'm committed to making this a better place. I've worked on those kind of changes from the very first day I became mayor, March 6th of 2018. I'm committed to working harder on those every single day from here on out if you'll elect me mayor on August 1st.
Thank you, Mayor Bradley. Representative Clemens?
Thank you again for having us this evening for this important discussion. Right now, Nashville is facing a lot of challenges. We're not lacking in challenges. What we're lacking is leadership and vision to move our city forward